guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Abby and welcome. In today's video guys, I'm going to be sharing with you all a spooky fall movie playlist that I have went ahead and put together for you guys just to be able to recommend some movies and TV shows that I love for the fall season. As most of you guys know, I do live in Arizona, so we definitely do not feel the seasons change over here, and it is a must for us to be prepared for fall, because without preparing and doing things, we definitely wouldn't know it's fall over here. So one thing that I like to do to prepare for fall is definitely watch TV shows or movies, or get like a Starbucks drink, or try different foods. So I am going to be recommending some of my comfort movies and movies that I personally just love. So if you guys are interested, continue watching. So I did ask you guys on my Instagram if you wanted me to go ahead and give a small plot of each movie, and a lot of you guys said that you did not want that. But for the people that do want that, I will go ahead and leave a small description in my description box for you guys, so you can check it out for yourself to see if you would like to see this movie. But the first movie that I am going to recommend is Coraline. So I am a really big fan of Tim Burton. I love his movies. I like his style. His style is really different compared to the other directors, and I just love his movies. They're like my favorite. And I love Coraline. Coraline is just set in like a dark setting, but it's also like youthful, and it's really adventurous. Like, it's kind of like rebellious at the same time, and it's such a good movie, and I highly recommend it for you guys. I would suggest that it is not a kids movie. It is kind of complex to understand, so it's definitely one of those movies that you need to sit down and watch to really understand it, because it is a little bit sinister. But overall, I definitely rate that movie 10 out of 10. I would watch it anytime, any place, anywhere. The next Tim Burton movie that I love so much is Corpse Bride. I love it so much because I'm like a hopeless romantic in a way, and just the romance alone in the movie is just beautiful to me. But also it's like very sad about how like it ends and basically what happens along the movie. It's just one of those dark movies as well, but it's very like different. I don't know how to explain it very much, but it's different, and I like that. And I like how it just brings the romance into it, but it also takes it away, because sometimes romance isn't always realistic in other relationships, and I like how they portray that in that movie. So it's really good, and I love those movies so much. The next movie is Edward Scissorhands. I like that movie as well, but it's also because I'm a big fan of Winona Ryder and also Johnny Depp. They did so well in that movie. I was like really rooting for them to be together. I think they did date for a while, I'm not sure, but I just love that movie. I think it's really different. It's also like just stands out within the character alone. So I like that movie. It is different, it's dark, but it's also like fun to watch. The next Tim Burton movie is Nightmare Before Christmas. This is always like a fan favorite movie from Tim Burton. I feel like everybody knows this movie, but it's also because it's really good, and it also portrays Halloween and Christmas, so you kind of get the best of both, which is kind of great. I like it because it's very different, and I love the subtle romance that they have into it. I wish they would have brought more from Sally and Jack, but at the end of the day, I think they portrayed the movie very well, and I love it a lot. So I definitely recommend those 4 Tim Burton movies. Those are my favorite, and I will always continue to watch them. The next movie that I do want to recommend is Twitches. If you ever watch Disney Channel, then you probably have seen this movie. It is like a really good movie. I loved when Disney Channel brought out their Halloween movies. They're really good about that, or they were. I haven't watched Disney Channel in years, but I love that movie so much. It's about witches, and it's about finding their mother, and also just about like finding each other, and also learning about each other and like about themselves. So I like that movie a lot. I think it brings in sisterhood, and it also just brings in like the witches, which is great. I like those. type of movies, so I do recommend the first one, and also Witches 2, which is also good as well because they tend to mature, but it's just a really good movie overall, and I highly recommend it. So like I said, Disney Channel did put out a lot of Halloween movies, and one favorite that I've seen a lot of people like is Halloween Town. It's not my favorite, but I do tend to watch it every now and then. I think I watched it more when I was younger compared to now, but it's still a good movie. I just like it. I don't really know how to explain it really. I just like it, but it is a little bit more different. It has more drama, I feel, to it, but overall I think it's a good movie. It's not one of those movies that I lean towards to the most, but it's one movie that I do like. The next movie is Coco. So I actually love the movie Coco. When I saw it for the first time, I fell in love with the movie because it does talk about Day of the Dead, which is like a big thing for certain cultures, and I liked how they are big on family and family impact, and also just like big on culture, which you don't see a lot in today's movies, and I just thought that they did that. They portrayed that very well in the movie, and it was just very heartfelt, and I just like that movie so much. I feel like I could probably watch that movie every single day because it's really good. And not only that, but it's like a movie that you can watch with your family, and it's one movie that everybody's gonna love. So this movie, I feel like a lot of people don't know it, and if you have, you probably won't like it just because it's very like more drama and more like soap opera kind of, I guess you can say. This movie is Phantom of the Opera. I love that movie, but I think I like that movie because when I was in choir, we sang this one song that is on there, and I just fell in love with the song, and the story is like sad but also like beautiful at the same time. I just really like the story, but it's also just really sad, and I think that's why I like it. But I do love the Phantom of the Opera. It's not for everybody. It's one of those movies that's really just a hit or miss, whether or not you like that type of stuff. It's definitely one of those movies that not a lot of people lean towards because it's different, and I wouldn't say it's boring, but to some people it is boring because the storyline is so long. So another one is Hocus Pocus. I think that's probably mostly on everybody's list, but that's just because it's just a really good movie. Now, it's not my favorite fall movie overall. It's kind of just like one that I love to watch as well. Steven actually saw it for the first time the other day, and he actually liked it. He didn't think it was anything crazy, but we did like it, and he said he liked it. So that was really nice. I'm really excited to see Hocus Pocus 2 though, because I'm just excited to see how it's gonna be. I've seen like previews and it already looks really good, and I just love those sisters together, which I know they're not sisters in real life, but I just like them together because they're just so funny. So I'm really excited to see that movie. So another one that I absolutely love to watch during fall time is Twilight, but that's just because of the vibes. Like, you guys know, if you like Twilight, you know the vibes. It's just rainy, it's just very dark, it's very by yourself, comforting. I don't know, I just like it so much. I can literally watch all the Twilights during fall, and I can even watch them outside of fall, but specifically I like to watch them during fall time or when it's raining outside. It's like perfect. It sets the mood 100%, and I just love those movies a lot, and I just like them. I need to read the books, which I have the books, but I just haven't read them yet. But definitely recommend if you haven't seen Twilight. But I don't think I've ever met anybody that hasn't seen Twilight. So if you haven't seen it, let me know in the comments down below. I'm interested to know. So another movie that I would definitely recommend for the fall season is Knowing. And this movie has Nicolas Cage, and he plays as an actor in the movie. I'm trying to think about what I was trying to say, but yeah, this movie is like very dark. It's kind of like end of the world type of theme, and I've never seen people talk about this when they talk about fall movies, but this reminds me of a fall movie so much because like the scenes and like the setting is like kind of like fall, I guess you can say. And it's very dark, it's very different. It's basically just one of those good movies that you can find. I will say it is a little bit scary, not like very scary, but it's like one of those movies that it catches you off guard because you think it's one way, but it's definitely a different way. And then when it turns out in the end, it's like totally different, and it's kind of like, oh, that's what happens. It's one of those movies, but I actually like that movie a lot. Steven likes it a lot too, but we definitely both have agreed that we will not be watching that movie at night. That's a movie that we watch during the daytime because, like I said, it does take a turn of events, and because of that, it will catch you off guard. But overall, I love that movie. I like Nicolas Cage as an actor, and I like pretty much most of his movies that he has played in. So another movie that I would recommend is Pride and Prejudice. And the reason I want to recommend Pride and Prejudice is not because it's like set in fall or because anything like that. I just like it because of the romance, and also because of like it's set in England, and it just reminds me of, like, I don't know, it just reminds me of fall. Like, it's not the setting that makes me remind me of fall, it's more of the storyline and also just the romance. It's kind of like the hopeless romantic type of movie that you would watch, but it's like, it has a really good ending, which I love. And I like how everything leads up to how it ends. It's one of the best movies I have ever seen. It's actually my favorite movie. Fun fact, when Steven went to boot camp, I watched that movie every single day that he was gone, because whenever he left, I did have a hard time sleeping. So that was definitely one of the movies that I watched. It helped me find comfort in it, and it also is just like one of those good movies to watch. It's literally so romantic, I guess you can say. I feel like when you do watch it, you may have to watch it with subtitles to really understand what they're saying, because like it's old English, I believe, and it's kind of hard to catch on to what they say if you haven't already watched it. But overall, it's a 10 out of 10 in my book, and I love it so much, and I'm probably gonna watch it after this video. So one TV show that I would actually recommend during the fall season is Vampire Diaries. If you have not seen Vampire Diaries, you need to see it. We have the Damon, we have Stefan. It's just like a perfect combo, and honestly, it just has those dark vibes, and it brings out werewolves, and it also has vampires, and it just has like a lot of mystical stuff that makes you think about things, and it's just really good. That's one show I always like to recommend because it's my favorite. I've seen it multiple times. I will say the ending was kind of disappointing, but it was also very sad. But overall, it's a really good show, and I love the cast in the show. They did a very good job at portraying each character, I believe. So yeah, that's one show that I highly recommend. Another show that kind of leads into that is The Originals, which is based off the Vampire Diaries, but it's kind of just like a spin-off to it, and that story is amazing as well. I love how they really incorporated each story. I will say personally, I do enjoy The Originals a little bit more. If it wasn't for Damon and Stefan, I would highly recommend The Originals over Vampire Diaries because of the storyline and because of the genuine, like the way that the characters are portrayed, and they're very genuine. But because Damon and Stefan are in the Vampire Diaries and they're like one of my favorite characters, I definitely like Vampire Diaries more. But they're really close to each other because of how good they are, so I highly recommend both of those. They're set in a dark setting, it has like different things, and it's honestly just a good show. But you may get disappointed at the end. Let's just say that, or at least I was. If you've seen it, let me know if you got disappointed in the end or how it ended. I did, but I don't know, that's just me. The last movie that I do want to recommend to you guys is A Haunted Mansion. I actually saw that the other day with Steven when we were painting pumpkins. It's actually a pretty fun movie to watch. It was not that scary, it was kind of different, and it actually was funny because it had, I think his name was Ed Murphy or something like that, I can't remember. But it's a really funny movie, and also it just brings into the fall vibes and also Halloween vibes. and I like the story with it. It is a little bit slow in the beginning, but overall it's a really good movie. I think it's a movie that's really good for family time, or also just something to watch to make you laugh. I actually like it a lot. But these are the movies and TV shows that I would highly recommend to you guys. So if you end up watching any of these movies, or if you have already, let me know your experience down below. But I just want to say thank you so much for watching today's video, and also thank you so much for helping me reach 400 subscribers. I'm so thankful for all of you being here, and also for all of you supporting us every step of the way. Your kind words definitely do make a difference, and I'm so happy to have met some of you in real life, and also just to have met you as friends. And it's honestly just a nice experience to know that you have this community out here that is like super uplifting and empowering, and I just want to say thank you guys so much. I'm so excited for what the future holds for our channel, and I also want to let you guys know that I love you guys, and until next time, bye.